I think getting technology partnerships, attracting the best technologies to come in, invest, and learn, I think that is an important part of accelerating, a med devices sector in the country. The one reality of the medtech sector we have to accept, and I think Indranil probably mentioned that, is that when you look at high technology, multinational companies, prefer to have very few selected centers of excellence for the high technology, right? It doesn't make sense to make 3 Tesla MRI machines in every country in Asia. It just won't be profitable. It just won't have scale. You just can't do it. You probably make it in one country at scale, right? When you look at the mid sector, again, you do have emerging technology companies in Asia, but a lot of them have emerged either through reverse engineering or through technology tie-ups. A great example is what has happened in China. I think India is about 10 to 12 years behind China. Today, we are talking of molecular diagnostics using RT-PCR instruments. China has already moved on to producing its own high throughput, molecular testing instruments, locally produced, right? And I think that is quite stunning because that's the kind of technology which was in the domain of probably 3 or 4 global big diagnostic players. China already has maybe 3 of those now. I'm sure there's a learning curve and so on. But I think getting technology partnerships, attracting the best technologies to come in, invest, and learn, I think that is an important part of accelerating, a med devices sector in the country. We talked of sweet spot, and let me take 2 examples of sweet spot. A sweet spot has to be driven by market demand, right? If you think about two huge areas in India, one is heart disease, coronary artery disease, and the second one is tuberculosis, right? And this is where you've seen probably the highest level of innovation in the country. You have an Indian diagnostics company which has got WHO approvals to export tuberculosis kits to 35 countries now. That's remarkable, right? And that's developed in India with for both normal and multi-drug resistance TB. And it's not just a kit; it's also with the platform. You have stent manufacturers in India who've spawned up, and quite a bit of them coming into the market even as we speak, looking for venture capital funding and scaling up their operations. So I think a lot of the sweet spot has to do with the unmet needs and the demand in the country. And whenever those demands have presented themselves, Indian entrepreneurs have responded to it. But if you think about going beyond this into higher technology products, you're going to have to attract technologies into the country. And this is where sometimes we as a country give mixed signals, right? We had an issue with stent pricing. There were perhaps some questionable practices that were happening, but perhaps we went to the other extreme in capping them to a point where the best stents are not available in the country, right? Because it's unprofitable for those companies to sell those stents. So I think you've got to have more uniform policies of attracting investment into the country. When I think from an MNC, when I wear my MNC cap, it is about economic scale, surety of IP, and the ecosystem of ancillary software, hardware, everything that Pawan and Indranil talked about. But it is also about consistency of policies, about getting the right messaging and signals, and having a good feeling about investing in the country.